What's up YouTube, Troy here, and Endgame has finally been released for all platforms, and I wanted to make this vid to give you guys my honest thoughts and opinions on how I feel about this DLC. Now the gameplay you're watching is a couple of rounds of Capture the Flag on flats and riverside maps, I believe. I haven't got the maps totally sorted out, so bear with me here. Now I made this vid to give you guys my honest thoughts and opinions and how I really feel, and I'm gonna be honest, I actually have mixed feelings about this DLC, and I think a lot of people do. It seems to be hit and miss, and I don't think it's really as good as some people say it is, and I don't think it's bad as some people say it is. I think it's kind of average. I'm not liking it as much, certain things about it as much as I thought I would, but I'm liking some things that I thought I wouldn't like. Now, if you can bear with me here, I recently bought a new keyboard, so my key bindings are, I'm still getting my key bindings set up. This is some PC gameplay, so my key bindings are still kind of out of whack. And you have to bear with me here if I look like I'm kind of doing things wrong. But to start off first, let's talk about Capture the Flag, one of the two of the new game modes introduced in the Endgame DLC, and I like it better than I thought it was going to be. It's not the standard Capture the Flag where taking the flag is instant. Taking the flag is, but recovering your own flag is. It's kind of like Conquest. You have a burn timer, and you have to basically take it back like a Conquest flag. And the more people you have on the burn, the faster that you can recover your own flag. And I thought it was going to be Capture the Flag. I thought was going to be really campy. It's not as campy as I thought it was going to be. A lot of the games that I've played so far on both PS3 and PC, I've seen half of the team will camp and protect your home flag, and the other half of the team will attack the enemy's flag. And I don't mind that. I think it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Now on to air superiority mode. For full disclosure, if you look at my battle log page, I have more tank kills than I have jet kills in the air, and I have to say I actually like air superiority much more than I like the tank superiority game mode that was introduced with the Armored Kill DLC. I honestly thought I was going to be waiting in line for a jet on the runway, but it's actually kind of nice that the jets spawn instantly, and that you spawn in the air, so I don't have to take off and become vulnerable. It is kind of a pain with the heat seeker spam that tends to happen in the air superiority game mode, but you know, it's in the game. You kind of have to expect it. It shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody that's flown jets for any amount of time in this game. But other than that, I like air superiority. The heat seeker spam is a pain. One thing I like about air superiority over the tank superiority game mode is the fact that there are 3 capture points in the air as opposed to the 1 on the ground for tank superiority. And certainly the number of vehicles available per side. Now, I've only played air superiority on the PlayStation side. I have not played it on PC. But I've played Rush on the console side and Conquest on the PC side to especially take advantage of the larger player count. And you know, that comes to a problem. I really don't think these maps do well at all in Conquest game mode for the console. I think they are Armor Kill 2.0. Basically the Armor Kill map layout with less of the balance issues in both Conquest and Rush that come with the Armor Kill DLC. And that goes to the heart of the maps themselves. I personally think these are some of the most poorly designed maps in the entire game of Battlefield 3. Much worse than Close Quarters. I feel that they were kind of rushed. I don't care what other YouTubers say, the Pipelines map is an exact copy and paste of Firestorm with snow. And it just... It really disheartens me that the DICE couldn't put more imagination and creativity into the maps, and it seems to be a cut, copy, and paste from a lot of the larger Battlefield 3 maps that are already in the base game. And I understand where they're going with some of the themes of the DLCs. They have a close quarters theme, Aftermath, they have Karkins, they have Armored Kill. They each have their own little theme, and they go to these extremities of gameplay. But more than their theme, I would like to see more of an individual identity between the DLCs, and a lot of the building layouts and map layouts are basically cut, copy, and paste from all the other DLCs, and I don't think that's very creative or imaginative on DICE's part, and I think that's a real failing of this DLC. I want to talk about rush mode. People ask me if I'm a Conquest player or a Rush player. I play both. I prefer 5v5 IO Conquest in competitive games, and I prefer Rush in pubs. And the main reason I prefer Rush in pubs is because it comes down to the last ticket, where you can kind of have that, oh well. In Conquest, you can kind of have that attitude with a pub team of, oh well, we're down by X amount of tickets, there's no coming back, might as well just give up and just protect my own stats. You don't have that in Rush, and Rush tends to be, it comes down to the last ticket. It's not over until there's 0 tickets or both bombs are blown. It's as simple as that. So I was excited on the console side to play Rush, and I really don't think Rush works very well either. Now, you don't have the balance issues, especially with vehicles that come with the Armor Kill DLC, but you have kind of the Armor Kill DLC map design, which I feel doesn't really work for Rush. You tend to have the MCOMs placed close together in a cluster of buildings, which is good. You're going to have close-in fighting on the MCOMs. But then you have a very wide open expanse of lands, a good 200 to 300 meters average in between each MCOM. So there isn't much cover. You factor in things like the sun glare, which I think they've taken to an extreme, especially the railroad and the riverside maps. I think they really need to patch that. If I was going to make a Battlefield 4 wishlist part 3, sun glare would be the one thing that they need to really get rid of, if not nerf into oblivion, because it's too much. If you're a defender on Rush on some of the new maps, regardless of player count, you have to camp the bombs. You can't create a buffer because of just the wide open expanses that are in between each individual bomb set of the MCOMs. And if you're an attacker, your flank routes are there really aren't any flanking routes because you're exposed no matter what direction you come from in accordance to the bombs. So I really don't think this game mode works with Rush. Conquest, I've played a few rounds of Conquest, mainly on the PC side. I'm going to say up front, if you're playing on Xbox or PS3, it doesn't work. It's simple as that. 24 players is not enough for 5 to 6 flags of Conquest. It's just not going to work. I don't care what DICE says. Player count is not there. On PC, it does work a little bit better with less of the balance issues that presented themselves in the Armor Kill DLC. But overall, I feel this is kind of a mixed bag. I have very mixed feelings about this. Is it better than Armor Kill overall? Yes. Is it better than Close Quarters? Kind of. At least with Close Quarters, you get 10 new weapons. You don't get any new weapons with this. Is it better than Karkand or Aftermath? No. Not by a long shot. Karkand and Aftermath are Battlefield 3 DLCs to the heart and heart, and I think they really basically play to what a lot of the players want in Battlefield 3. I understand. I've been playing Battlefield since I was 18, since 2002 when Battlefield 1942 came out, and I understand a lot of people, they want, Battlefield, big, open combat, massive maps, lots of vehicles, ground, air, vehicle combat, all combined into one. I understand that. That's what Battlefield was founded in, but honestly, that's not what Battlefield is today. Battlefield is actually more close-in infantry fighting. As much as people resist it and don't like it, the times change. And I think DICE needs to get with the program and get rid of these in-game Armor Kill type DLCs. If you want to put in stuff like in-game Armor Kill, put it in the base game. But these DLCs, they're really hit and miss. And I think a few of them work, a few of them don't. And I honestly, that's just how I feel about Endgame. I don't think it is good as DICE has hyped it up to be. I like the addition of the dropship in Conquest. I think it's a lot better than the gunship. The dirt bikes, you know, again, they're hit and miss. I like the fact that on PC I can take advantage of changing my field of view, so I can sit in the first person mode and drive a dirt bike. Riding in first person mode on console, where you cannot alter your field of view in the options menu, is really a pain in the ass. And really, I view dirt bikes like I view almost every other non-upgradable vehicle in the game, unlike tanks and LAVs, where I can have smoke and reactive armor. I'm really not going to ride dirt bikes much. I feel that, you know, the fact that they don't have any incoming missile warning if someone's locking you up with a javelin or a soul flam, I feel is a big detriment. And unless I know the person and I've played with that person, I'm not going to ride in the dirt bike with them. I'm not going to ride in the ATV with them. I'm not going to ride in a chopper with them. It's just how I am, to ensure my success at winning the game, because everybody knows, you know, all I want to do is win. So honestly, I feel that this DLC is really hit and miss, and I'm kind of disappointed in DICE. I feel that there was a lot of laziness put into the map design of these maps. Railroad and the Riverside maps are, man, they are copy and paste of Caspian Border, which has to be my most least favorite map in the game, regardless of platform, regardless of player count. I don't care if you have 200 players on Caspian Border. I hate that map, period. It's just poorly designed, and if you can't see that, then I feel sorry for you, in all honesty. Sorry, I've had lunch and 3 beers. I'm really kind of stressed. I've been playing Battlefield quite a bit recently with Endgame coming out. I've been kicked from a number of servers, been banned from a few servers, even in the base game, not even playing the new DLC. And it's just been a pain in the ass, and honestly, DICE has really kind of ticked me off with this last Endgame. I feel that they've let us down, and I don't think this DLC is nowhere near as good as it could have been. It's nice seeing a return of Capture the Flag, but I feel that Capture the Flag is in this with air superiority as well. As much as I actually like air superiority, and I'm not a good jet pilot, as these game modes can't hold a candle to Rush and Conquest, the 2 legacy game modes of the Battlefield series. And you know, they're in the same league with Scavenger, with Gunmaster, with Tank Superiority. These one-off game modes that you might play once or twice or maybe 3 times a month, but you keep finding yourself going back to the base game, back to Conquest, back to Rush. Those are the game modes, and this DLC really makes me wish that DICE would introduce a game mode that can rival Conquest or Rush. Something that has the replayability. In all honesty, I might play Gunmaster and Close Quarters Team Deathmatch and Scavenger mode, Air Superiority, Tank Superiority, these one-off game modes, just to get the medal for getting 50 wins. And once I get that, never play it ever again. And maybe unless it was tied to an assignment or some kind of freebie extra that comes with premium dog tag or weapon camo or whatever. With Battlefield 3 pretty much coming to a close, this being the last DLC that we know of, and Battlefield 4 probably not releasing till about 11-12 months from now, I'm really disappointed that they could have put so much more into this. It seems like they went all out to do Close Quarters, which I really don't care about Close Quarters. I don't like Gunmaster. I really don't care for some of the map design. But you know, the big incentive is the 10 new weapons that come with Close Quarters. Then you have Aftermath, and what's great about Aftermath is the fact that Aftermath was released so far after the base game. But Aftermath kind of has a great rotation within the base game, a similar way that Back to Karkand has a great integration with the map rotation of the base game itself. So I think that works if you can find servers that run the base game, Aftermath, and Karkand all in one server. Perfect. I mean, those are the perfect map rotations, bar a few maps here and there out of each the base game and each DLC that I don't really care for, like Operation Firestorm, or Caspian Border. Sorry. But I really feel that this DLC could have been a lot better, and I feel that DICE really got lazy with this DLC. It was cut and paste from a lot of others. I feel that the new game modes are kind of a novelty. They play a lot better than I thought they would. I will admit that. But I don't see the replayability there with Rush or Conquest. And, you know, and that goes to the heart of multiplayer itself. What's great about multiplayer over single player is the replayability. No two games are exactly the same. You have the human variable in there. And, you know, I think they could have done a lot more creatively and in a more in terms of their imagination with the map design, the building layout, and the ebb and flow that tends to happen with these new game modes in the end game DLC. I don't feel they got right. You know, and that takes me, one of the things I do like about the Capture the Flag game mode is that if you've played Battlefield for any considerable time like I have, you've played Conquest, you've played Rush, the two legacy game modes, you've played them on multiple DLCs for Battlefield, multiple servers, you kind of get a feel for how they play out. Even though one game is never going to play out exactly as any of the others, every game will be different. You kind of get a feel of how they will play out, how the ebb and flow. And it's something I do like about Capture the Flag. It kind of throws in that variable, that randomness of chaos. You don't know whether you spawn in, you don't know whether, okay, are you going to attack or are you going to defend? It's kind of up to us. Whereas a game mode like Rush, you really have no choice. You either have to defend or you have to attack. It's as simple as that. There's kind of an equalness there, similar to Conquest in the Capture the Flag mode, that allows players to kind of choose, and so they're not kind of pointed to a certain path or a certain play style in that game mode. That's something I do like about Capture the Flag. I just don't know if it'll be a mainstay. I don't know if I see game modes like Tank Superiority, Air Superiority, Capture the Flag, Scavenger, Conquest. I just don't know if, or not Conquest, I'm sorry, Gunmaster. I just don't know if we'll see these one-off game modes being introduced into the base game of Battlefield 4. They seem to be one-off game modes tied directly to the DLC. It would be kind of cool if they were interchangeable. Let's play Air Superiority on Firestorm. Let's play Gunmaster on Operation Metro. I mean, certain things like this would be interesting. Let's play Squad Rush on the close quarters maps. You know, I'd like to see more interchangeability in these DLCs, and I really hope that's something they do for Battlefield 4. You know, so this is honestly how I feel. This is my own personal opinion. I understand other people have opinions. I respect that. That's great. But I feel that this game mode is better than others, but worse than some. I certainly feel that Karkand and Aftermath are the best DLCs that DICE has released for Battlefield 3, and that Close Quarters, Armor Kill, and Endgame don't hold a candle to those two DLCs for the base game. It's as simple as that. And I certainly hope for Battlefield 4, they've taken all these opinions, they've taken, see what works and what doesn't work in Battlefield 3 in terms of the DLCs, and maybe release a more streamlined version of the DLCs for Battlefield 4. Because you know that Battlefield 4 is probably going to have their own standalone premium service, their own separate 4, 5, or 6 DLCs that they're going to release. So I hope they take into account everything that's happened in Battlefield 3 and really apply that to Battlefield 4. I really hope if they're being as lazy as they were for Endgame, that I hope it's because a majority of the DICE developers are working on Battlefield 4. If that's the reason, then certainly maybe Battlefield 4 maybe could be a better game. But I certainly, this being the last DLC, I really thought they would go out with a bang and not a whimper, and I feel that they've really gone out with a whimper on this DLC, and it's really nothing special. I think the novelty will wear off in a few weeks, and people will keep going back to the base game, Aftermath, and Karkins. That's certainly what I'm going to be doing. I might work towards the certain medals for game modes, but after that, really you have to ask yourself, what's the point? I don't really care for flying jets, so I'm not going to keep playing air superiority. I've gotten away from tanking in, say, the last 2 to 3 months. So I'm certainly probably not going to, once I get the medal for tank superiority, I'm probably not going to play tank superiority ever again. It's just boring to me, and I don't really have the patience for it. But I honestly wish, in my heart of hearts, that this DLC could have been a lot better. It's good, it's not great, but it's not the worst. But it could have been a lot better than it certainly was. That's really my honest opinions about in-game. I'm kind of let down. I don't regret buying premium, because I did get all the DLCs and, you know, extras, camos and dog tags and whatnot. But I really hope for Battlefield 4 that the DLCs are a lot better. Battlefield is changing. It's not the same game it was in 2002 with Battlefield 1942. These massive air, land, and sea battles. Battlefield's not that anymore. That was then, this is now, and I think DICE needs to realize that. I certainly hope that things can be better in the future. You know, that's my thoughts and opinions on the Battlefield 3 endgame. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Thanks always, guys.